because this is, to me, maybe the strongest Arizona team I've ever seen.
Arizona's dressed in the navy, Utah in the home whites, and the Utes control the opening tap. Brown at the controls. McHenry rises up and knocks down a jumper.
Yeah, we talked about Terrence Brown in the open, but his backcourt mate, Don McHenry, can get firecracker hot as well and has been hot these last few weeks.
Those two guards account for almost half of the Utes' scoring as Karchinkov on the other end answers with a bucket.
And Karchinkov, I would almost rate him as the biggest surprise for Arizona. A lot of people didn't even know he was coming to Arizona, not to mention starting and becoming such a great defensive stalwart. And there he is showing the offense, and there is the defense.
And a runway and a layup. He's had multiple games this year with 5 or more steals.
And now he ties Jaden Bradley for most steals on this team. They've been going back and forth all year long, both of them incredible, aggressive defensive players.
Just underway here at the John Huntsman Center in Salt Lake City. McHenry, sidestep three is short, and Burries clears for Arizona. Arizona, the top rebounding team in the Big 12, and Koa Pete has his first points.
And you see there, no double team on the post entries. Dawes, they're going to have him cover Pete himself. They really don't want to get in those situations where Arizona can get 2-on-1, 3-on-2. Koa Pete made him pay.
Loose ball, Arizona with a steal. Turnover, Utah. The Wildcats have connected on their first 3 shots, all in the paint. Krivas bumping. Looking for room. Brown tracks it down for the Utes.
Conquo did a really nice job defensively of holding that position against Krivas.
Brown misfires. The officials letting them play. Randy McCall, Deron White, and Jason Garrettson, our crew today. Burries, fans wanted a whistle. Left it short.
And I think this is the area where Utah needs to be really good today, is on offense. Arizona's defensive percentages, their production on defense have been lights out this year. They're just so hard to score on.
Utah's missed their last 4. Burries a 3, and he cashes in.
And Burries has been a guy, talked about him the last couple weeks. There's been a lot of talk about how his game has evolved, right? Gotten comfortable with this team. The more comfortable he has gotten, the better he's shown. And there goes, look at that right there. And you see Karchinkov just being so aggressive on entry passes. Utah not even be able to get the ball in the first pass. Karchinkov with another steal and the foul. He grabbed Karchinkov on the way to the rim.
The officials are at the monitor.
Yeah, they called that a common foul, we were told by Randy McCall.
And it goes against Seydou Traore. That's his first personal.
You know, I thought Tommy Lloyd mentioned something during the break, the holiday break, said to his team, you know, we have to keep a beginner's mindset. And that was his way of really keeping them grounded, that #1 ranking now for a few weeks. And you think with the #1 team, you probably have to do less coaching. It's actually the opposite. You have to do more just in terms of the intangibles.
Pete down low, banging, miss, volleyed off the glass. Pete tracks it down, out-muscling Keanu Dawes in the corner.
And that was the thing Alex Jensen talked to us about, James, before this game, as we see Bradley miss on 3. And there it is again, offensive rebounding for the Cats. You give them 3 tries, they're going to make you pay.
Bradley shooting over 52% from distance on the season, and it's a 12-0 run for the Wildcats. How does Utah stop the lady?
Yeah, they've got to, first of all, they've got a team rebound. You can't give up 3 boards. And now these live ball turnovers, that's going to kill you. Going to lead to breaks, going to lead to buckets. They've got to execute a lot better on offense.
4 turnovers in the last 3.5 minutes for Utah. It's a 14-0 run for Arizona. Turning the corner, Brown high off the glass. Utah has to find a way to get him on track.
Yeah, and if they can at least get the ball in the net more often, and then they can set their defense up, set up their rebounding. But again, the size is such a factor.
A reach-in foul underneath, called against Dom McHenry. Timeout on the floor, Arizona by 10 on the road.
Arizona does not need New Year's resolutions when you play that well. And to hear Alex Jensen talk about Miller and how good he was, said he's one of the most underrated players maybe in the history of basketball. And you see there the resume for Alex Jensen. He was a great player, not just a good player, you know, Mountain West Player of the Year, and you mentioned the double-double in that 98 game. He was part of that triangle and two, the vaunted triangle and two they talked about for years, and he was guarding Miles Simon, he said. Miles, of course, was the MVP of the year before when Arizona won it in 97.
The Utah team had just 3 losses heading into the NCAA tournament. This one here, it's all Arizona, 16-4. Wildcats have been suffocating on the defensive end. Nice cut, Brown, the sweeping scoop.
Now, we were talking to Alex Jensen, we were wondering, are you going to go triangle and 2 tomorrow? And I don't think that was not going to work today against this team. Again, defensively, you can see how they're playing. They are really playing from, they'll guard the ball hard, but everybody else in the paint trying to stop that physicality of Arizona. And it's thrown to you, James.
Owaka with the turnover. The high hop sailed it over my head and into the home crowd. But this Arizona team, like, they have an all-bus team. They look like an NBA team. They are so big and strong.
All bus, all airport, all everything. You just, like I said, it's the biggest team. Not only just the length and the size, and Krivas is out right now, but you bring in Owaka. I've said probably 15 times this year. I think he's the biggest player in history at U of A. But it's the guards, too. We were talking about it today, James, how incredibly big Burns is. And Jaden Bradley looks like an NFL, running back, you said, or a defensive back. He is really put together.
Foul line jumper, too strong. Offensive rebound, number 3 for the Wildcats. Pete into double coverage.
Just unstoppable right there when he gets that kind of position. Had, I won't even call it patience, but he did have a little bit of patience there. But when he went to the move, went quickly right there. And back to the size of Arizona, you got to credit Tom, really credit Lloyd for knowing that Arizona was going into the Big 12. Here was that bucket. There's Owaka on the offensive board. You see him pass out. Bradley had the 3 if he wanted it. The patience there, but once he got it, took it quickly so the double could not get to him.
Foul on this end goes against Jaden Bradley, his first, and it puts Brown at the foul line. He leads the Big 12 in makes and attempts. Averages 21.5 points per game. Had 21 last time out against Washington. And cashes in on both to make it 18-8. Brown's a transfer, top 3 scorer in the Big 12. Came over from Fairleigh Dickinson, where he averaged 21 a season ago. 36 earlier this year in a non-conference win over Weber State. Del Orso elevates and drills it.
Yeah, and Arizona's bench has been another incredible sign for this team for a long run this year to the Big 12, hopefully for them in the tournament. That bench has just been electric. You bring Del Orso, really a starter coming off the bench. We've already mentioned Owaka and what he's done. And Tommy Lloyd just has an awesome 8-man rotation right now.
An incredible balance. The foul goes against Tobe Owaka, his first. And the 4th Arizona team foul. But to your point, 7 different Arizona players have led them in scoring this year. Just 13 games in.
That's a great point. And I didn't even mention Aristotle, who hasn't come in yet. And so, to your point, James, how do you scout him? Like, who are you guarding? Who are you doubling? Who are you looking to? And there's the defensive go with Pete. 9th block of the year, a denial from the freshman.
30 points and 5 assists in his season debut against Florida.
Yeah, and that Arizona team was struggling against Florida, trying to figure out who they were, what was their identity, and he absolutely took over the game.
Really burst onto the scene against the defending champs. Tapped out of bounds, stays on this end with 4 to shoot for Utah.
Thought it was interesting, Koa Pete. Tommy Lloyd challenged him last week, the last couple of weeks, to really become a better rebounder, and he almost just takes the rim down. No foul call, but you know, the problem with Pete is, how do you get rebounds? I mean, because Awaka, what did you say? You said that Awaka's right around what percentage?
He rebounds 28% of available boards when he's on the court.
So there's not a whole lot left for Koa and the fellas. You see Koa right there again in transition, the athleticism that he has.
Pete out high, one-on-one. Backdoor bounce and a scoop for Del Orso. Reverse layup makes it 22-8.
Yeah, one of the most underrated parts of Pete's game is his unselfishness and ability to find those passes. 37 assists on the year, which is fantastic. And another block.
Loose ball scramble. Utah with 10 to shoot.
Remember, this Utah team has played almost everyone tough. They played Washington tough the other night on the road.
Trying to beat the buzzer. Leaning, miss. Rebound batted around, and Arizona's Burries. Magnet hands to the rack. He's blocked and fouled.
That was great effort there by the Utah running Utes to get that offensive board. Not able to corral it. The problem is when you send guys to the glass and you don't get the board, that's going to open things up for Arizona. And here's Pete with the vision right here. So he gets the ball, spins, maybe looking for that little jump shot, but then the backdoor freezes the defender, Karchinkov, with the put in.
Braden Burries, the sensational freshman at the line, scoring almost 18 per outing in his last 8 games. Leads the team in threes, the McDonald's All-American, 6'4", 205. He's 19 years old, and he is put together at 6'4", 205.
Yeah, he's another guy that the size, you know, when you're standing next to him at a shoot-around, you really notice it. You and I talked about it. For a two-guard, he is one of the bigger two-guards you'll see. And you know, you look at the points right now coming into this game.
And we welcome in those of you who just saw UCF in Kansas on the NBC Sports Network. We're in Salt Lake City with Matt Muehlbach. I'm James Westling. Arizona's off to a hot start. The Wildcats connecting on 60% of their shots in a rare three-point try from Awaka, and he nails it.
If Awaka's hitting threes, it's going to be an early afternoon. 1 for 3 coming in on the season, and they lay off him. And he goes ahead and shoots him and makes him pay. It's just, they're picking their poison, right? They're making guys shoot. But if they're going to make that, like I said, not much Utah can do.
Traore, wild spin, and he banks it in.
And Traore now 2 buckets in about 30 seconds off the bench.
Arizona's select.
Knew the Pac-12 was going away. He knew the Big 12 was the best conference in America, and he knew part of the reason they were the physicality, the toughness of all those different teams. And, you know, they had played Houston in the Sweet 16, Tommy Lloyd's first year, and they got bullied in that game. Let's face it. Nice shot right there by Brown. You can see his ability to score the ball, but they got bullied a little bit by Houston. He knew going into the Big 12, I've got to retool this team a bit, and he's retooled it a lot.
Dwayne Aristote is entered for the first time. High ceiling freshman who can really stroke it. Del Orso misses a 3. There is Aristote, can't convert the bunny. A wrestling match for the rebound. And the tie-up. And it's Utah's basketball. Utah has made their last 3 shots. What do we need to see for the Utes to climb back in it?
Well, we look right here on that play, and the good news there, 3 guys in the lane. They need 5 guys in the lane to rebound. You literally can't even have two looking to run the break. They've all got to be in there. But on offense, they run a lot of pro sets. Alex Jensen has been in the pros for the last 10 or 12 years. He's coached with Utah. He understands some of those quick hitters you see in the NBA. That's something that they can do. There's one of them right there.
Dawes met at the summit. Another Zona block. Murray's coast to coast body control. A Waka offensive rebound, and he's fouled on the follow.
And that's the tough part. Okay, you make a great play, right? You have a quick hitter. You make the play and say, hey, this is something we practice. Got a great look. Now it gets thrown back in your face, and Arizona's on the run, and look what happens. Great play by Burries. The problem is a walk is there, and they just wear you down.
3 Navy jerseys in the neighborhood. A miss at the line from Milwaukee. And Alex Jensen, the Utah coach, I mean, he noted that's how Arizona makes these type of runs. They have these 3 to 4 minute stretches where they just throttle you on the glass.
Yeah, that was his point. And unfortunately, that 3 to 4 minute stretch started at the beginning of the game, which makes it tough. Now you got to climb back. Well, it is a nice crowd today here at the John M. Huntsman Center. Great arena, as many people know, historic, as a matter of fact. And one of the great games ever in this arena. Tommy Lloyd was part of that as a Gonzaga assistant coach.
Dawes. His first points.
Well, I really love Dawes' game. He's an undersized big, but does a lot of really good things. High-low right there.
Krivas, he's fouled. 5th team foul against the Utes. And Mo Krivas, who's a 78% foul shooter at 7'2", will be at the line. But back to that last possession.
Yeah, Dawes 6'9", 225. You got to respect his 3. He's got long arms, but he can put it. He can take it off the floor, get it to the rim right there, and a nice job changing hands in the air.
Foul was against James Okonkwo. But Dawes is one of those guys that he's a stat stuffer. I mean, 12 points, 9 rebounds. You noted his assists earlier today. He's a guy that does it all for the Utes.
Yeah, Dawes, crazy stat. Dawes and Koa Pete came in with 37 assists each. Pete plays the 4-5. Dawes, same thing. Probably plays more 5 just because they're undersized. But for those two guys to have 37 assists here early in the year is crazy.
Krivas gets them both. 7'2" center from Lithuania who shoots almost 80% from the foul line.
And he's been on fire from the foul line the last couple of games.
McHenry, his best look of the day, hits the dot.
Miscommunication right there. Look, maybe like Aristo lost the Utah player there. McHenry makes him pay.
That's Utah's first made 3. Rebuttal from Burries, barely nicks the rim.
And this is what Utah will do. They want to run after misses, use their guard play.
Brown crafty, he delivers.
Well, his ability to use the rim as a shield, but Krivas still got over there and was almost able to block it, but such a quick move.
Crowd is into it, and Krivas slams the door shut on any momentum.
And how fast was the spin move by Krivas on Okonkwo?
Brown, a walking bucket, not that time. Already has 10 for the Utes.
Well, it's fun to watch Brown and McHenry, isn't it?
They account for half of Utah's scoring. 2 electrifying guards. Pete banging with Dawes. Around and out, and Dawes claims it. Lead is 11 for the Wildcats. Give and go, and a slam.
Perfect job on that side pick and roll. No help from Arizona, leads to the dunk. And you can see some rhythm now offensively for Utah, which is much needed so they can set up that defense.
They've made 4 of their last 5 field goals. Bradley trying to silence the crowd, and he delivers.
Well, and you can see on defense, what's Utah doing? Literally letting Bradley shoot free throws. I mean, they just have no answers, so they're hoping Arizona's going to miss shots. They go under the screen. Bradley, so quick and smart, gets to his spot.
Next dead ball will send us to a media timeout, the under 8.
And McHenry's going.
Stop and start. Throws up the teardrop. Offensive rebound. Brown a deep three.
I'll tell you what, Brown's feeling it. The crowd's feeling it. He was kind of playing to the ground after he shot that one. He's got a lot of juice in that offensive game.
Closest it's been in a while. Burry's so smooth.
And we saw right there, that was kind of the Gortat screen, they call that, where Krivas screens Bradley's man, or was it Burry's man? He got it just an easy layup.
Okonkwo throws it up. Aristo. Okonkwo commits a foul. Sends us to a timeout. Terrence Brown trying to keep the Utes in it.
Been great action the last couple minutes. As you said, Brown's got to score. Doesn't get it to his left, scores by himself. A little assist game on the pick and roll. And how about a little three? Gonna play to the crowd after Okonkwo gives it to him. Utah within 10. Under Quinn Snyder. Quinn was a good friend of mine years ago and used to hang out with him. And I was once told that Quinn had a book of 121 pages of pick and roll action. So he's been schooled by Quinn, and you can see in his huddles he had it.
That's a lot of pick and roll. Definitely has a calming presence about him.
Right, good point.
Utah secures the miss. With a chance to cut it back into single digits.
Now this has got to go to Brown. I mean, he is hot. And it's good there. Brown gives it up. Now you see Arizona's not going to have any of that. They're getting the ball out of his hands.
The run and jump leaves Dawes, who punctuates at the rim.
I like Dawes a lot. He is long, he's active. He can get, as you said, get to the rim. He can also shoot threes.
Utah's shooting 50% from the floor. They struggled with taking care of the basketball early on. They have 5 turnovers, but they've cleaned it up. Bradley, veteran play, gets the whistle, and this will put Jaden Bradley at the line for a pair.
The crowd does not like it, but he clearly got inside and got leverage on that defender to force that call, and there's a lot of physicality on it. Now, maybe what they wanted, that's sort of, you see that, the SGA, NBA kind of lean in there, but I think a good call under the circumstances.
And it's the second personal on Obomate Abbey.
Now that time, see, Arizona's been so low there, you can't go under. I think he got too far into Bradley's space. You might make a little argument that Bradley sold it, but it was definitely a foul.
He pushes the lead back to double digits. Arizona's 9 for 10 as a team from the stripe. Utah's only attempted 2. Brown probing, slammed on the brakes, and he throws it away. Karchinkov, liftoff. Owaka spins and finishes.
And I was watching Owaka that whole play track Karchinkov on the drive, track the rebound. He had one mission. He was thinking, I hope my teammate makes it, but if he's not, I'm there. And what a great play by Owaka.
Already has 6 points and 5 boards. Abbey turning the corner. He's bumped. Foul goes against Karchinkov.
You know, James, we hear a lot about Owaka. He's the best rebounder in the country. But watch the tracking here. You can just see him. He's watching the position right down the middle, knocks everyone over if anyone was going to get in his way, and then the putback. And he's gotten a lot better at that as well, scoring after he gets the rebound.
Super smart kid. Had an internship on Wall Street this summer. He's a business administration major. He's a numbers guy. And he's guarding the ball. McHenry out to Howard with 7 on the timer. McHenry at 3 around and off, and Owaka has his 6th board. Less than 5 to play in this first half. Owaka, his 2nd 3. That's a dead eye.
Jeez. Came in 1 for 3, as we mentioned, and is now 3 and 5. Shooting 60% on the year. He needs to shoot more of them.
9 points for Tobe.
Steal there by Tobe with the deflection.
2-on-2 for Arizona. Bradley pulls the trigger, then cans it.
One of the best mid-range games in the country. And that type of mid-range game, a lot of that you can't even coach. That's just a guy understanding the game. New York point guards always really good with the ball in that area. Rod Strickland was a guy that was a mid-range master.
This is a 9-0 Arizona run. Another miss from the Utes beyond the arc. They're 2 for 7. Bradley on the charge and a blocking foul against Utah. It's number 3 on Abbey.
Now this is classic James. You got to pick your poison. Look, they're not literally not guarding him. They back up to the free throw line. I'm not sure he would take that shot if it was tied, but when you have house money, easier to shoot. And Bradley there just, you play off 2 feet. That's one of the things Jaden Bradley does as well as anybody in the country. Plays off 2 feet. That enables you, when you do play off 2, set yourself, and you have that little fade away from 15.
He's in double figures with 10. You mentioned the Rod Strickland comp. Is that the best comparison in terms of Jaden Bradley and how he plays? Because there's not a lot of modern age point guards that play like him.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, not really a three-point shooter, more of a 2. And I got to say this about Bradley. I have to think about that comp. And the one thing I'd say about him is his unselfishness, his ability to not care about his own points may be the most underrated thing on this Arizona team.
Arizona by 18. They're on a 10-0 burst. Dawes losing the handle. Howard landed the trees. +1. Timeout on the floor. Utah at the line for the old-fashioned 3-point play when we come back to Salt Lake City.
We think something's happening out there.
Awesome stuff. Thanks, guys. How about that? KU losing in their Big 12 opener to a UCF team that's now 12-1, Matt.
Yeah, I'm not sure I expected that, but I know they have good coaching, good talent. KU, I don't think 100% right now, but see those D1 ranks there, and the rebounding thing obviously jumps off. And, Arizona right now in the KenPom numbers, number 2 defense in the country, and physicality we're talking about. But it's not just that. I think the way they're connected right now, of course, their length and physicality, but their connection has been really good.
Burries in and out. Tapped around. Aristo, Johnny on the spot. His first points.
Well, and another reason Arizona good defensively, they score so much. So now they get to get back, set their defense, not giving up easy buckets.
He scored 90 per night. Brown in his bag in this first half with 15.
And he's a problem. He's going to be a problem this year in the Big 12. It's fun to watch him. Can D2.
And a steal. McHenry ahead of the pack. Misses the gimme. Brown's there to clean it up. Up to 17 points.
Yeah, we showed Awaka trailing on that play. Good job by Brown not to give up on it. He created the steal. McHenry missed, and he able to put it in.
Koa Pete, that is bully ball.
It is. You just have to almost laugh to watch him out here because there's just no one that can guard him.
There's a quiet 6 in this first half. Dawes, a hop step, lost it on the way up. Burries needs help. 4-on-2, McHenry.
I almost wondered, was Burries going to eat that ball, just throw it in out of bounds, because there was no one back there from Arizona, 4 Utah players.
The backcourt duo for the Utes. Brown and McHenry have combined for 24 of their 37. Del Orso, right down the boulevard. And they'll count the basket. Ball was in the cylinder on the rebound.
That was all set up, of course, because Koa Pete, right? They've got to, he just bullied his way, as you pointed out, the last possession. They have to go double Koa Pete right there because they doubled Pete. Del Orso had a wide open lane, got to the rim. And I think he didn't finish that one, but that's one reason, or that thing that Del Orso's been a lot better this year, finishing around the rim. Had a huge dunk the other night in their game against South Dakota State.
Foul floor. 15th foul against Arizona. It's on Aristode, his first personal. 15-point lead for the Wildcats. Pacing for well over the century mark here on the road in their Big 12 opener. Utah's 13-1, by the way, when they open conference play at home since 2000. Brown floater. Awaka has another rebound. That's number 7.
Brown almost was caught in between. Uh-oh.
Bradley, an easy one for the Wildcats.
Thought he might flush that one on the road, though. Just the easy one for the point guard.
7 straight games in double figures for Bradley, who has a dozen. Awaka the rebound. Arizona fueling the break. The lob, Pete, the touch finish. And it's a 19-point cushion for the Wildcats. They're on another 6-0 run.
You mentioned those 1 or 2 minute spurts. There's one of them right there, and they just happen so fast. Again, defense leading to offense. You just can't score on them, and then not enough guys back for Utah.
Traore throws it up and in.
Traore has been awesome off the bench today.
Freshman from Mali. He's a redshirt frosh, missed all of last year with a knee injury. Inside of a minute, down to 35 seconds. Arizona by 17, shooting 60% in this first half. Bradley dancing, extra step, and they call him for the walk.
You know, that was an interesting move. He made a similar move on the road in the biggest bucket of the game against UConn earlier this year, and he did not complain about that one. I think he did take the extra step. Good call.
5th Arizona turnover. This will be the 17th of 27 halves so far this season that Arizona has shot better than 50% as a team.
Well, he's right up on Brown, right on top of him.
Cookies and another layup. Hounding defense from the veteran point guard who's up to 14 points. Brown, his counter pops out. That'll send us to halftime. Arizona leads it 58-39. They end the half. No advantage on fast break points for Arizona.
It'll be interesting also to see, how does Utah, do they mix something up? Do they play zone? What do they do differently? They get a steal right away. That helps.
Brown, Euro step. Wow. Ball sits on the back rim. And it's Arizona's basketball.
Wow, that was unlucky. Terrific defense. They get the steal. And then Brown with almost a miraculous make. And you can see really loves getting to the rim and then going under the rim and spinning it back on the other side.
Gut punch for Utah. Krivas lost it on the way up, and he's fouled. First team foul against the Utes to start this second half, and it goes against Seydou Traore. That's number 3 on him.
Yeah, and I thought Traore did a nice job there reaching in. Krivas brought it down to the waist. Traore, I thought, had a good steal there.
Arizona went 10 for 12 at the foul line in the first half. And Krivas is now 3 for 3. Largest lead of the day for Arizona. It's 20, and they've led for all but just 14 seconds here on the road. Krivas stays perfect.
And that's something later on in the year that will be huge. Krivas becoming an excellent free throw shooter.
Brown has 17 for Utah. Nobody else with more than 7. They lose the handle on the back cut, and another jump ball, and the arrow keeps it on this end of the floor.
I mentioned that, James. A couple of years ago, Arizona had a great center named Umar Ballo.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy Lloyd special that Tommy really helped become better. Umar did a great job, loved by the people in Tucson, but struggled at the line. And it's hard to play guys late in big games when they do that.
Arizona now 12 for 14 as a team, 85%. 10 to shoot. Brown turned away. Dawes, coffin corner. And it's one and done for the Utes.
And you can see that possession, Utah on the miss, sending everybody back on defense. No one really going to the glass.
A foul off the ball, underneath the basket. That'll be on Kendall Sanders, his first personal, and the second Utah foul here in the early going of this second half. Utes are 7-1 here at home this season, scoring 88 points per game in this arena. The #1 team in the country controlling this one here on the road, Arizona. One of the toughest schedules in the nation. Burries off the mark. Offensive rebound. Krivas brought it down, lost it. Sanders bumped. Turns, he's open. A foul against Utah. It's on Okonkwo.
And that was a pretty good look by Sanders right there. The freshman out of LA is doing a nice job becoming a good player for this Utah team. And they're going to have to hit shots like that to somehow crawl their way back into this one.
They slapped Sanders with the foul, I should say. Arizona with possession. Pete rises up, a long two, and Dawes secures it.
And that's a shot Utah's going to let Arizona take. Pete can make that shot, but Utah's happy with that one because they're not getting it in the paint.
Brown falls.
Pete. Look at that. Look at Pete at 6'9", the lateral quickness.
Deep in the timer. Dawes from the corner, off the mark. Marchinkov with an aggressive rebound for Arizona. A double on Bradley. Finds Karchinkov. A three. Dawes has 3 rebounds to start this second half. Well, nobody's made a shot. 0 for 7 combined from the floor. Brown up and under. Dawes on the follow, +1.
I'll tell you what, Dawes has had a game so far. And, you know, he's being the one guy inside for this Utah team that has to try to get all the boards. That time, all he had to do was rebound over Jaden Bradley. It looked like Krivas was on the other side of the lane. And just, you know, toughness. Brings his lunch pail, fights down low. He's had a really impressive game so far.
8 points, 6 rebounds in 18 minutes. The lone returner from last year's team caps off the old school 3. Utah replaced all 5 starters, new coach, new team, returned only 9% of their minutes, and it was all from Dawes.
I have no doubt, Alex Jensen, as you see Bradley posting and then going to the left. How good is that? And that again shows the strength of Jaden Bradley to post his guy into the lane.
14 for Bradley, north of his average of 13 per game on the year. McHenry sneaks it around the big guy.
You know, another New York point guard that got inside a lot, Mark Jackson. He was bigger than Bradley, but Bradley has just a sense, a clean ability. And there's a break opportunity.
A run out for Brown, and he throws it down. $19 points for Terrence Brown. Trying to inject some life into this home crowd. Timeout on the floor. Arizona by 16 here in Salt Lake City.
I'll tell you what, if Utah did not have Brown, they would be in trouble today. He has been electric at times. He can score and get up.
Big Ten basketball is live on Peacock. It's the battle.
Coverage starts at 7 Eastern on NBC and Peacock. Well, Terrence Brown and Don McHenry, one of just 13 backcourt duos in the country to put up these type of numbers. They account for almost half of Utah scoring on the year.
Yeah, and more tonight. They've had to go to them more because of this defense of Arizona. They've been the only two, and Dawes at times, to really get good looks.
High-low, Pete to Krivas, inside out to reset. Burries, Bradley, relocating with 8 on the timer. Karchinkov, a high-rise 3. And it's saved along the inline.
And a great job by Dawes again.
McHenry off the mark.
I will say this, Utah has the green light to shoot, and Alex Jensen wants to promote that. He wants the running Utes back, and you know, this won't be the year he will get his best recruits. They've got some good players, but in the coming years, he will get those type of guys.
Krivas is fouled, and he'll be at the line when we come back. Arizona by 16, leading on the road here in Salt Lake City.
In high school, and I think that's one reason, a huge reason, when you see Pete play against Florida and he gets 30, or you see Pete here on the road, looks super comfortable in these environments like he's done it before. Well, he hasn't, but his siblings and his parents have. And what, you just had the promo. You had the Ravens Steelers. His brother's playing for the Steelers. So, you know, he's going to watch that. I'll watch that game tomorrow night. Can't wait for that one.
Mar Jackson for the Ravens expected to play.
I got to pick a team now that my Chiefs are out of it. I'm not really sure who I'm going for here yet.
You and me both. It's been a weird year.
Maybe the Bills, because of all the tough losses they have had.
Arizona by 17. They have 10 offensive rebounds after another. Karchinkov can't get around his man. They will stay on this end with the Wildcats.
Speaking of the Wildcats, watch the Wildcats last night. Their football team almost made the good comeback. A bunch of people in San Diego. I know they're probably out. There's a place I go to, Tavern on the Beach in San Diego. I know they're watching this Hoops game back in the A. Had a good year for both football and basketball, obviously.
A Utah steal, then they throw it right back to the Wildcats. NASCAR tempo, a lob, and Pete brings the house down.
Nice pass by Karchinkov. He'd probably throw it anywhere for Pete, but that was right on the money. From 3, too. He threw it from about 25.
They're such an incredible passing team. Outside priorities threes off the mark. Utah's made just 2 triples. They're 2 for 11 today.
And that was the one area we thought coming in, maybe they could make a little hay on. The one area you can sometimes play with better teams making those triples, but has not been the case.
Pete from the top. A 3, it's there.
And if not mistaken, I think that's his second on the year. And we saw him in shoot-around shooting from that exact spot. That was the spot he was shot a ton of them. Made a lot of them. I was impressed with how many he made in shoot-around.
Hayes doubled. Owaka rips it away. Bradley on the move. Drops it off. Arizona 70-46. The Wildcats full throttle here on the road.
Well, I used to say that the Wildcats were a Ferrari. This year they've been a Ford F-150, but this is Ferrari back in action right here. Running the break, the lob from the 3. Pete easily knocks it in, the 3-pointer. You got it. I mean, what are you going to pick at this point, right? And then you go down Bradley, that great move at the end. Patient, waits, Burries, Arizona absolutely rolling.
Making a statement in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it really shows you, because we mentioned it. Utah has played with a lot of very good teams. They beat Ole Miss, played with Mississippi State, played on the road with Washington last week. And as I said at halftime, I mean, at times it does not seem like a fair fight. And Utah's not played terrible. I mean, they've actually played at times pretty well, just Arizona too much.
Utah with possession out of the timeout. Trying to end an 8-0 run.
And look at Arizona. I mean, right out of a break, they absolutely attack the pick and roll there. They go after you. They're not waiting around at all, even though they're up big.
10 to shoot. Abbey splits the defense and one. Obomonte Abbey will head to the line, the freshman from Finland. His first points of the night. Awaka picks up the foul for Arizona.
And Abbey, known for being a point guard and really able to distribute, showing the offense there an ability to finish at the rim against that size of Arizona. Nice move.
A 90% free throw shooter on the year, cans the freebie. You said it, Matt. Life is good in Tucson. Even with the bowl loss, Arizona football had a really nice season in year 2 under Brent Brennan. Football and basketball went undefeated in November and until, or all of December.
All of December, yeah.
They were the first school to do that since TCU did it back in 2015.
Very well posted.
Shot doesn't fall. Utah's 0 for 4 from 3 in this second half. They made just 2 all game. McHenry looking for number 3.
And McHenry can light it up, and that's what he's good at. Is he makes difficult shots, and he gets it on the move. He's really good off the dribble.
Awaka, who has his 14th career double-double with 14 points and 10 rebounds, held and fouled.
And here's that 3 from McHenry, the Western Kentucky transfer. Kind of got into Bradley there, so no foul on the 3. Bradley did he almost got into his space, but I thought McHenry went too far forward to call the foul. There, good no call.
To shoot. Korchinkov throws it up short. Utah's looking to expand on a 6-0 flurry. McHenry, teardrop. The dunk follow from Dawes.
And no box out, and Dawes takes advantage. But here Arizona taking advantage off the dunk make, able to get a layup on the other end, and Utah's got to get back better than that.
Awaka headed to the line. All muscle. Foul goes against Ibrahima Traore. That is his first team foul, number 6 against Utah. Arizona by 18 here in Salt Lake City. More college basketball after this with UCLA and Iowa tonight at 6 Eastern. And USC and UCLA, rivalry on the women's side at 8 Eastern. Tomorrow, Creighton at a very sneaky Seton Hall team who has some quality wins. That's at noon Eastern. And then Marquette and UConn at 2 o'clock Eastern on NBC. Turning the corner. 8 to shoot for the Utes. It's a scramble. Dawes throws it up. A long 2 will fall.
Yeah, right after that follow tip dunk, Dawes showing the range.
Del Orso curling. Abbey ahead of the pack. Utah's within 15.
And Bradley there wrist. There was a risk. He went for the ball knowing if he didn't get it, it was going to be a layup on the other end. Abbey able to beat him to that loose ball.
Aristode quiets the crowd right between the eyes. It's a 3.
And I think Aristode is going to be one of the secret weapons of this Arizona team as they roll into January and February. He was somewhat quiet in the non-conference, and his ability to stretch the floor and make shots, we see it right there.
His 21st 3 of the year, shoots 52% from downtown. McHenry tapped around. Krivas, Sanders, and the jump will send it over to Arizona. Arizona by 18. Timeout on the floor. 10:44 to play here at Utah.
You were happy.
Yeah, the #1 ranking is bringing out the Cats, man. Everybody back in the A, whether you're in San Diego, Tucson, or Salt Lake City, I guess.
Those 2 guys, the second and third most popular guys in Tucson.
I remember just before the game, I was talking to Terry Francona, and I said, you know, one of the coolest things about you, your basketball connection, you coached Michael Jordan. I said, what do you remember about that? He said, two things. Number one, as Awaka bullies his way in and then gets his rebound, not surprising, on that and the almost and one. But he said, what I remember is Michael Jordan's the most competitive person I've ever been around. Not surprising, you know, and he said baseball, basketball, you name it, he was the most. And then secondly, he said he could not have been more coachable and nicer to me as a manager.
Man, that's cool. Missed free throw from Awaka. Foul was against Dawes. So let me ask you this. Who was the most competitive player on the hardwood that you ever played with or against?
Oh, with or against. I got to probably say one of my teammates, you know. I mean, I'll go with Steve Kerr because he fought Michael Jordan. So anyone that's going to fight the most competitive person. Now, he did get beat up. He did, which is not surprising, right? He admitted that. But if you're going to fight MJ, who's the most competitive, I got to throw it to him.
Okonkwo underneath, in some trouble. A whistle and a travel. Midway through this second half, Arizona in control here on the road. Four Wildcats in double figures, led by Awaka and Pete with 15 each. Burris. Krivas trying to keep it alive. And an over-the-back foul called against the big.
Yeah, sometimes Krivas will get calls against him because he's so big.
It's his second personal and the third Arizona team foul. Dawes with a burst. Late whistle. And this will put Keanu Dawes at the line.
You know, Dawes, a lot of times, we talk about guys playing off 2 feet. He plays off one a lot, and that can be an advantage. You saw it there with his length and athleticism. He can just take it to the rim. He's kind of a college 3-and-D, although he averages 9 rebounds a game. He really rebounds well, but I've been impressed with his offense.
It's 14 tonight after the free throw. The NBA on NBC and Peacock. Monday nights, it's Peacock, NBA Monday, and Tuesdays in prime time. It's Coast to Coast Tuesday on NBC and on Peacock. Monday, Knicks and Pistons, Nuggets and Sixers. And then the Warriors and the Clippers. And on Tuesday, it's the Heat and the Timberwolves, and then the Mavs and the Kings. A full slate as Dawes capitalizes on both. 17-point lead for Arizona. Burries, a power finish.
Well, and that was a play they've set up now for the last 4 or 5 plays. They run that little dribble handoff on the left, but instead they change it up. They go back door, and they have the defender sleeping on that play.
Brown. Bouncer. Whoa!
Jeez.
He rips it.
Well, great job by Brown to get in the lane, but Okonkwo showing that length.
James Okonkwo, a well-traveled basketball player, North Carolina, West Virginia, Akron, Utah. Ten to shoot.
He's going to shoot that.
Aristode. A rebound, McHenry.
And so you don't come out on him. If you don't come out on him, he'll light it up. Not able to make that one.
8.5 to go. Traore pulls up. A lot of shots for Utah, just in and out today.
And I wonder, to some degree, look at the crossover right there, but Okonkwo with a great block. Or was that Dawes? Dawes with the block there. That was a beautiful crossover by Jaden Bradley.
19-point lead for the Wildcats. McHenry and Brown playing keep away. Brown has been quiet in the second half. He had 17 at the break, just 2 here in the second half.
And I was going to say, James, it almost looks now like, what, at the 7:40 mark, Utah looks a little tired. And the strength, the physicality starting to wear down against that Utah team. Not able to come out on shooters there, although Aristotle misses another one.
Arizona plays about 9 guys, but fairly even minutes across the board. McHenry from the top, his 3 rips the cords, and he's up to 15.
I tell you, Brown and McHenry are going to carry a heavy load in this Big 12 conference schedule, and they're going to be able to do it. They're both fantastic scorers. They're from mid-major programs, but stepping up here in the big time.
Utah is actually shooting almost as well as Arizona in this one from the floor, but there's a huge discrepancy at the foul line. And Arizona will be there when we come back, leading by 16.
Adobe Acrobat Studio is all new. What can PDFs?
He recreated the shot from 2003 that Blake Stepp missed for Gonzaga. Tommy was an assistant coach at Gonzaga at the time. He recreated that shot. It was against Arizona, one of the great college games in history. Arizona won. Stepp missed it. I will say that, what was it, James? Tommy hit it, what, 2 or 3 times?
Yeah.
And he was sort of lamenting that, but said, hey, one of the great games ever, you know, in Gonzaga and Arizona history.
And even in a loss, it really kind of put Gonzaga on the map.
I think that's a great point. It really did. And because Gonzaga had been sort of the Sweet 16, Cinderella, and all of a sudden now they were playing with the big boys sort of every year.
Tony Lloyd spent many, many years on Mark Few's staff at Gonzaga, waiting for the perfect opportunity. He turned down job after job until this one at Arizona as Bradley connects on another jumper.
Yeah, I'd like to get a replay of that Bradley shot right there. That was textbook play on how you put your shoulder into someone without fouling and creating space. It was just beautiful.
12th Utah turnover. On the inside, Peets off the glass. Too easy.
Hey, Dawes is a great athlete. We've just seen it now a couple plays, and Pete just, in a split second, just rose above him like he wasn't even there.
Bouncing backdoor, Traore with the finish.
And that's why Dawes is like Pete with a beautiful assist right there to Traore and a nice finish, as you pointed out. That was a nice play.
First points for Traore here today. Slipping backdoor, Barchekhov at the rack.
And you can tell again, Utah just a step slow right now. The physicality of Arizona has worn them down.
Driving kick and a 3 from Abby, way off the mark, and error. Foul on the play. Back to the other end. Arizona flawless on this offensive end.
Yeah, and this was the Bradley play. Just Barchekhov there, just going to the middle of the lane. I'm not sure Utah lost vision of him, and Arizona takes advantage.
Foul was against Mo Kribas. That is number 4. He'll get a breather. Walker checks back in for Arizona. Josh Hayes is at the line, 78% foul shooter. Looking to split the pair.
And I think that last possession is a good point about you just don't wear teams down physically, but you wear them down mentally. They get tired of the buckets that they're giving up. They lose maybe a little bit of concentration, and Arizona gets an easy night.
Yeah, you get tired, and then you start thinking about how tired you are.
That's right.
Arizona by 20. Looking to extend their streak to 9 straight wins by 20 or more. Barchekhov on the shuffle, he lost it.
Well, the double there off that screen. They blitzed it, and Arizona not able to handle it.
Under 5 to play. Brown with an alley. Bunts, +1.
How good is Brown in the air and the array of shots under the rim, around the rim, the little scoop shots? He starts on his left, finishes way over, has to come up and under around Pete right there because of his size, and Brown can play.
The top 3 scorer in the Big 12 has 22 today, extending his streak of 5 straight 20-point efforts for the Utes. Pete with 8 to shoot. They're working around the wheel. And a 3. That's number 7 for the Wildcats. Way above their average. Karchinkov.
Karchinkov had planked one from that same spot and shooting him. And then he missed another one, and Tommy Lloyd came over and talked to him for about 30 seconds. You and I were watching the exchange, and Karchinkov, incredibly coachable guy. Nice shot right there by Traore. I think one of the advantages Arizona has this year, really coachable. And Karchinkov, to me, is as strong a minded freshman as anyone in the country.
He is an elite defender. There are 361 teams as Burries gets loose. 361 teams in Division I basketball, and Arizona ranks 342nd in attempted threes per game. They don't shoot a lot of them, but they're top 40 in percentage. Brown, 24 points for him.
Another good move by Brown there. That is showing everything in his array, his bag, his repertoire. This is why I think Arizona is so good, because Bradley's offensive ability to contain it there, but Brown does a nice job defensively. Arizona up big.
The news at home to BYU earlier today.
BYU is going to be. I think I saw Arizona plays BYU twice. They have one of the 2 home and homes. Those are going to be special games. I think the other is Kansas and ASU.
There'll be a lot of NBA scouts in the house for those matchups. Awaka up to 18 points. Also has 11 rebounds.
He's just, I mean, the girth of Awaka is not just for rebounding, it's for offense too, because you see how he gets the shoulder in right there.
Hayes miss, tap out, Burries on the handle. He lost it. Tobe Awaka has tied a season high with those 18 points. Two minutes to play. Arizona by 19. The watch is 20. Arizona's won 8 straight games, a program record. A missed 3. And the rebound, Utah. 8 in a row by 20 or more points. They're sitting on 19.
And I guarantee not one of those players has any idea about that statistic, which is good for them, but it is interesting. It goes back to what, 28, 29 you said?
Long time ago. McHenry throws it up. Awaka has rebound number 12. Bradley stops.
He's done that twice now in the second half where he goes hard, he stops. I've seen Pajimski do that a lot in the NBA. SGA does it. It's a really interesting move and able to get looks or get space. Although he was unable to finish.
Arizona starting to kill the clock with 1 minute to play, leading 95-76. This is a well-rounded elite basketball team. Burries, who has his first career double-double, adds to it 17 points. And Jaden Bradley commits a foul to clear the bench.
Well, if you needed an example to know if they knew what was going on, he wouldn't have fouled there, but he wanted to get his buddies in, get some PT.
It's been a day at the office for the Wildcats.
And Burries there just showing his strength, size, able to finish at that monster game at Alabama. His coming out party 28.
Arizona's going to win their 5th straight in the series. And 8 of the last 11.
gonna.
They've got Kansas State on Wednesday, and then a week from today they're at TCU, and then Arizona State at UCF and Cincinnati. And we were talking with, who was it earlier that said there's going to be a ton of Arizona fans at that TCU game, even though it's on the road for the Wildcats in 1 week.
I think it might have been the great sports information director for Arizona, Nate Weepers, was telling us about that. And by the way, great job to our guys back in Sanford, Connecticut. Jorge Bustamante, great job on. I love the Koa Pete family tree. You know, a lot have been talk about his family, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And to see it like that was really cool.
A half minute to play with Arizona in control. They move to 14-0. The bench wanted that three from Evan Nelson. Utah spin move, lost it on the way up. Wildcats will dribble out the clock. 97-78. Arizona scored a season high for a half. 58 in the first half. And they cruise to a 19-point win.
Well, you wondered what Arizona would do out of the break. Would they have that same intensity, the beginner's mindset?